Hello, football fans, Ohio State fans, college football fans. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. If you haven't been here before, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, like the video. I don't just talk about Ohio State football. I talk about a lot more football throughout the season. And I know I haven't uploaded lately. So for those of you guys looking for, like, where's an updated top 25? Where's previews and stuff? I've been busy with college stuff. I promise all that stuff is going to come out this summer. In fact, I have a top 25 video and a mock draft that I'm going to do before the end of the month. So stay tuned for that. Also, this was a spur of the moment thing. I just figured I would do this video, kind of threw this together. So I don't have my usual mic stuff with me. So I'm using a wireless mic from my headphones. Hopefully the audio sounds okay, but if not, there's not really a whole lot I can do about it. So I apologize for that. But Ohio State fans, we got Ohio State football back, right? It's felt like forever since we had the Scarlet and Gray on the football field, and we finally get the Scarlet and Gray back on the football field for the annual spring game. If you guys are excited to hear me talk about it, you guys want to hear more, please hit the subscribe button, leave a like on the video. And the first thing that I'm going to say before a lot of my videos this year is you guys know your teams better than I do. Even some Ohio State fans out there, you guys are going to know more than I am. So if I miss something, I gloss over something, I don't talk about something, politely remind me in the comment section down below. I always like listening to your guys' thoughts. So let's go ahead, see, and talk about the Ohio State spring game. It was a little bit of a different format. You had Scarlet being all-time offense, Gray being all-time defense, kind of what most teams are doing this year. There's a point system for the defense that you guys can go look on your own. I'm not going to explain it. If you watch the spring game, then you definitely know what I'm talking about. Hopefully the swinging isn't doing anything. But outside of football for a second, it's been an emotional week in Columbus, Ohio, with the passing of former Ohio State quarterback Dwayne Haskins. Was crossing the highway, got hit by a truck that just didn't see him. It's a very, very unfortunate event here. Of course, just trying to get his career started in the NFL. Hadn't really worked out up to that point, but you know, he felt like it was going in a good direction. And he's in the Ohio State record books. Just such a loss. My thoughts and prayers go out to anyone around the Haskins family, whether that be his family, himself, friends of the family, coaches, players, even us fans. My thoughts go out to everyone that knew, that followed Dwayne Haskins, and that was a fan of Dwayne Haskins. Such a tragic event. Truly someone that we lost too soon. CJ Stroud, you saw, wore Haskins on his jersey. Of course, he wears the number that Haskins wore at Ohio State, number 7. So Buckeyes are going to wear a sticker on their helmet. It looks like there's going to be stuff painted on the field as well. So just such a huge loss in this Ohio State program. So after an emotional past week, the Ohio State fans got together. They did a tribute for Dwayne Haskins, and then afterwards they got to watch some Ohio State football, which we're going to talk about now. But again, I thought it was important to mention the Dwayne Haskins scenario. So again, my thoughts and prayers go out to friends, family, anyone that was around Dwayne Haskins during his life. So back to football talk. You had Scarlet, you had Gray. It was a pretty fun game, but there were a couple of things that I think Ohio State fans were looking for in this game. One, CJ Stroud, how had he gotten better? Because we had heard talks about CJ Stroud, for as good as he was last year, he's gotten a year older on the field with his ability, off the field, even on the field a little bit with his leadership ability, his maturity level. They've just said CJ Stroud has come such a long way. And he looked pretty good in the spring game. I do feel like I should mention this as well before I talk more about the spring game. I don't put a lot of stake into the spring game because it's not really truly what the teams are going to look like in it. It's just kind of a fun thing. See how far these guys have come. Again, we're just in spring camp. We haven't even gotten to summer camp yet. So I don't put too much stock in the spring game, but there definitely are some things that come out of it that I do look for. I just wanted to say that as well. So now let's get back. Where was I? CJ Stroud. So CJ Stroud, I mean, looked fine. There were a couple passes here and there that were a little bit shaky, but nothing that I didn't really expect from CJ Stroud. I thought he looked fine. Jackson Smith, who figures to be one of, if not, and in my opinion, is the best wide receiver in all of college football. So definitely looking forward to seeing him get on the football field. Again, had that crazy Rose Bowl to end the year, and a lot of mock drafts is a projected top 10, even a top 5 pick for next year's NFL draft, and he is insane. He's a beast. But there was another player that I was looking for on the I should say at the wide receiver position. That was Julian Fleming. And I don't even know if he played a snap in this game. Like I did not see a lot of Julian Fleming. In fact, I didn't really see Julian Fleming at all. So definitely some interesting stuff there. Julian Fleming, I was expecting to see him, but I really didn't see Julian Fleming. So kind of hard for me to gauge that. He was one of the guys I was kind of looking forward to seeing. And again, I'm not remembering seeing Julian Fleming. If he was there, you guys can let me know. But again, I'm not remembering seeing Julian Fleming. But one guy at the wide receiver position that we did see was Xavier Johnson. And Xavier Johnson's been with this program for a long time. I believe he was a 4th or 5th year senior. I know he's a senior, but can't remember if he's 5th year or just a regular senior. But coming out of Cincinnati for high school, he's kind of just been like a special teams player, right? He's just kind of been like a specialist on the special teams, hasn't really done anything elsewhere, doesn't even have a career catch. I believe had 3 or 4 catches today, and he looked pretty nice. For a wide receiver core that, yes, we lost Olave, we lost Wilson, but Jackson Smith and Jigba is coming back. You got Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming, I just talked about there as well. Some other talented players around there as well. Xavier Johnson, a guy that could end up probably playing like a Jameson Williams, a Jameson Williams type role, where he's not going to be the guy on the offense, but he's a good, solid, and experienced option to come off the bench for that Ohio State team. So I'm excited to see what he is able to do this year. It definitely looks like he's going to get some playing time at the wide receiver position, if today tells you anything. And the tight end position as well looked really, really good. A lot of good players there as well. But the biggest thing, and this is the thing that I think all Ohio State fans were watching for in this game, was how does the defense look? Of course, we bring in Jim Knowles from another OSU school, Oklahoma State. We bring him in, take away the burnt orange and black and put him in the scarlet and gray. And I got to tell you, even though this was a watered down Jim Knowles defense, this is nothing like the Jim Knowles defense that we are going to see in the regular season. I thought it was great. And there's been a whole lot of talk. It's definitely going to be a totally different Ohio State defense. They're not just going to sit in the 4-3-3 like they are in the 4-3-4, whatever they sat in today. They're definitely not going to do that. There was still some zone being played there as well. Jim Knowles is more of an aggressive defensive coach. He likes to blitz, likes to do all that stuff. There wasn't really a whole lot of blitzing and everything there. And I'm going to kind of go through different levels of the defense. And there's something I want to talk about in the offense I'll get back to. But defense here as well. Again, just such a watered down version. Not a whole lot of blitzes. In fact, I can't really remember any blitzes. There were probably a couple in there. But even when we didn't blitz, when we just rushed 4, made our offensive line work, right? And this is an offensive line that, of course, is having some questions. Going to have to fill in a couple of spots there. Going to be a thing to watch as well. I thought the offensive line did fine, but that defensive line, Jack Sawyer, JTT, lots of other guys they expect to have big years. I mean, they were great. That defensive line was great. Talking about the back 7 of the defense, though, which is, I think, the thing that most Ohio State fans, including myself, were worried about. Jim Knowles has said that he's been really impressed with the way that the linebackers have come along. He said that Steele Chambers, the transfer from Arizona State, Chip Trayanum, has been his 2 fastest learners. You got guys like Eichenberg there as well. Just so many other players at like the Mike, the Will, all sorts of linebacking positions that Jim Knowles has said the linebacking group has really come along. And then Tanner Mcallister, of course, the transfer from Oklahoma State, the only guy to follow Jim Knowles to the Scarlet and Gray. He played really well today, too. And he said that he's been very impressed with the way that the secondary has come along and with how fast they have picked up the Jim Knowles system. So it sounds like lots of good things are coming on the defensive end in Columbus. Don't get too like rolled into what you saw in the spring game, because I can guarantee you it's going to look completely different. It already looked completely different. It's going to look completely different for a second time on September 3rd when the Buckeyes take on Notre Dame. I do want to go back to the offensive side of the ball, something I did forget to talk about that I just remembered I wanted to bring up, the running back position. How good was Trayvon Henderson last year? He figures to be the guy next year as well, and I don't think there's any doubt in anyone's mind that he's going to end up being the guy. But man, I mean, Mayan Williams, he's made some progress coming along there. And the guy that I was really impressed with back there, again, you figure that Williams is going to end up being, or excuse me, Henderson's going to being that guy. Williams is going to be there as well. But the guy that I was really impressed with, there it is, Evan Pryor. Evan Pryor was the guy that I was really impressed with. I just couldn't think of his name for a second. That's why I kind of was repeating myself, stuttering. So I apologize for that. But Evan Pryor, I was really impressed with him. And he has said before that he wishes he gets more playing time. He wishes he would get on the field more. And they've been basically telling him, well, you need to develop your game first. And he looked great today, had a great touchdown run today. His fundamentals are looking really good at the running back position as well. So Evan Pryor and Xavier Johnson, two big winners in the spring game that I think we're going to see quite a bit in the regular season. So those are your two big winners on the offensive side. Big winners on the defensive side. I mean, of course, you had one of the young bucks there with an interception. His name is escaping me at the moment. It was number 38. I'll find it here one second. Cameron Kittle with the interception. We're getting Josh Proctor back. So Proctor was back on the field there. He made some good plays. JTT there as well, blowing stuff up. Of course, Tanner Mcallister playing well in the Scarlet and Gray. And CJ Hicks, the freshman coming in this year out of Dayton, Ohio. He played really good as well, was making a lot of nice plays up at the linebacking position. So great to see CJ Hicks on. Sonny Styles, I don't believe is with the team quite yet, but that's the other big defensive recruit coming in at the cornerback position. He can play a little safety as well. But CJ Hicks, the linebacker, I thought played well today. So there you go. There's kind of a little spring game review. Again, I don't take too much stake into the spring game, but a couple big standouts for Ohio State. Again, the stars looked fine. A couple of the young guys and even some of the more experienced guys that if you're kind of just a base level Ohio State fan, you didn't really know were there, such as Xavier Johnson, Evan Pryor. They're starting to come along, and I think we're going to see them play a lot of time. The big thing, though, that defense, it already looks much better. I cannot wait to see how good this defense looks coming into next year. Now, let's talk about next season a little bit already. So, again, C.J. Stroud figures to be the guy, and why would he not be, right? 4,400 yards last year, over 40 touchdowns, just tremendous play from C.J. Stroud. And as I probably already mentioned earlier, he's gotten a year older. Everyone's talked about C.J. Stroud's gotten a year older on the field, off the field. He's just improved so much, and honestly can't wait to see what he does coming into next year. Same thing with JSN. Jackson Smith in Jigba figures to be the best wide receiver in college football. He's going to be spectacular. Trayvon Henderson, I think, could be a top 10 running back next year as well. He can light stuff up as well. This offense, I'm not worried about at all. Even Marvin Harrison, who I haven't said, whose name I haven't said yet today, but his play was great as well. Made a nice scoop catch on the turf. But I mean, this Ohio State offense, it's fine. I think a lot of Buckeye fans know that this offense is going to be fine. It's definitely going to be younger than it was last year. And at the same time, more experienced. It's something to keep in mind. It's going to be a younger offense because you don't have Olave, you don't have Wilson, you don't have Rucker at the tight end position, but it's going to be more experienced. These guys have played together, and yeah, you're losing a lot of big pieces, but a couple of the main guys are already there. Again, Stroud, JSN, Henderson, and Xavier Johnson coming along. He's a good leader there as well. Egbuka figures to be a good player as well. Cameron Babb, whose name I also haven't said at wide receiver, he's been coming along really well. Williams. The only guy that I still have some questions about is Julian Fleming. What can he do? What's going to go on with Julian Fleming? And also, someone whose name I haven't even said is Devin Brown. That freshman quarterback out of Utah, he looked really good. I still think Kyle McCord is going to get that backup role to C.J. Stroud, but Devin Brown played really, really well in this game. So huge shout out to Devin Brown for the way that he played this game. Okay, enough talking about the spring game. I know I said already, but let's talk about next season. And again, I just said the offense is going to be fine. The defense, I think, is the thing that a lot of people are like still kind of on edge about, not really sure what to think about this defense yet. And we get a test right out of the gate. You see there, the schedule is all laid out down there. Only 4 road games for Ohio State this year, but a lot of them going to be some tough environments. Michigan State, Penn State, Northwestern, Pat Fitzgerald, usually a good coach, but I don't think we'll have a problem there. Maryland, who figures to be better this year, that could be an interesting road game depending on how good Maryland is going to be. But again, home games as well. A lot of big ones. Notre Dame to kick off the season, Wisconsin, Iowa, Indiana, Michigan, home game. Even Rutgers as well. Rutgers is slowly getting there under Greg Schiano. So this is a very interesting schedule for Ohio State. We don't really have that huge road game against a team from the Big Ten West that we normally had, right? Which has been Iowa in the past. It's been Wisconsin in the past. Last year, it was probably Nebraska, right? So we don't really have a big road game against a team that, could maybe scare us from the other division. Northwestern, yeah, maybe, but most likely not. Wisconsin, Iowa, definitely the 2 toughest teams, probably maybe besides Nebraska this year in that West Division. Nebraska figures to be really good. Could be a team that Ohio State sees in the Big Ten Championship if they end up coming out of the East. A lot of different things can play out this Big Ten season, but I am very excited. You can take a look at the schedule down there. I'm going to talk about it a little bit, but Notre Dame is the big one, right? Notre Dame is the game that not just Ohio State fans and Notre Dame fans are looking forward to, but a lot of college football fans. That could be game of the year. That could be a potential playoff game right there, right? Because the thing surrounding Notre Dame is, well, you have to win all your games to get in. But the committee this year, especially if Ohio State is going to be as dominant as some of these metrics and rankings are projecting Ohio State to be, if Notre Dame goes out and loses a close game to Ohio State and runs the table, which includes a game against Clemson on the schedule, you figure Notre Dame has a very good shot to get into the playoff. And I know this is super early speculation and everything like that, but it's never too early to talk about college football. Don't tell me what to do. This is going to be a very interesting season for Ohio State. You figure that this team probably poised, again, this Ohio State team can run the table with as explosive on offense as we are. If that defense can even get in the top 25, last year I believe we were 54th, we were 96th in pass defense. That's something that Tanner Mcallister has come in, Jim Knowles has come in to help improve. I think this Ohio State team is going to be just fine coming into next year. But a nice little thing to have Ohio State football back, right? Spring game means Ohio State football finally getting back. A lot of the coaches, staff have said that there have been a lot of phenomenal spring practices. And again, continue to tune in on this channel. I'm going to start breaking down in on some more news, some more interesting things as I find out with Ohio State football. So Probably won't be another Ohio State video until we get closer to the season for all my Buckeye fans out there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. This is kind of the new format for my fan reaction videos this year. I'll have the schedule down there. I might actually move that more this way, like closer to the, you guys will see soon enough. But thanks guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. To all my Ohio State fans, to all my non-Ohio State fans out there, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Remember to play hard, tailgate harder. I got a top 25 video, the mock draft video coming out definitely before the month is over. So see all of you guys over there. Again, thanks for tuning in. This was Ohio State fan reaction number 1. The 2022 season, reacting to the spring game. A little bit of an early season preview in there for you guys as well. See all you guys later. Goodbye.